into the season, some people, myself not included, have questions about the secondary. Just how do you think they performed Saturday? And just what are your biggest takeaways from that group?
I thought they were really focused. They knew it, the types of things they had to defend. We thought going in that we was really worried about a lot of the crossing routes, the deep overs. That was his favorite throws, so we spent a lot of time for about 3 weeks working on that. The free safety coming out of the post and really jumping across or in the corner climbing, and it probably happened twice in the game. Mish picked one of them right by the goal line, and the other time we got a sack. So thought they played well. OJ competed really hard, you know. I was laughing. OJ, when that first motion that went across the field, they completed a bootleg, and he knew what he had to do, but he said his legs wouldn't move. So we kind of laughed, but we kind of settled him down, but I thought Porter played well. Everybody on the back end, they challenged us early. Brown broke up a ball deep, and then Richard broke one up deep, and I think it kind of broke their confidence of going downfield a lot, and started trying to run the ball and do other things, kind of played into our hands.
Coach, you talked a lot throughout fall camp about the depth of the defensive line. Once Ruben goes down after that first drive, just what did they show you throughout the game about just what you guys have even when he's not there?
Yeah, we just kept rolling different guys in there. We played different guys at tackle position. Of course, we was able to play 5 defensive ends, which was good. And we rolled Mesidor inside as well. So we stayed fresh, and I thought it helped us in the second half, you know. So I do think that's the strength of our defense, and if we can continue to play a lot of people, I think we'll be able to play a little bit more as we go, get more guys experience. So that'll be good because it really helps on the back end with us being a little slight with numbers.
It's Mish Howell's first game in your defense. Had a pick, played really well, breaking out really well. Just what did you expect from him going into the game, and how nicely he lived up to those expectations?
Yeah, he's got a demeanor a lot like Cam had. You know, he kind of calms the storm back there. He's vocal. He knows a lot of football. Of course, it's the first year in this scheme, but so was Cam's, you know, and just a guy back there that's played a lot of football, played in a lot of big games. So this one wasn't as big as some of the games he's been in, of course. So yeah, he's helping lead that secondary, and just a solid performance by him. And wish he could have got in the end zone on the interception, but really solid play by him.
And then Jaden, you mentioned, he had to get a pick early. He got one in kind of a weird way, but he got one. What do you think of him in his first game? In the first big game as a starter.
Yeah, he played really, really fast. He played the way we thought he could with his skill sets. But he's a confidence guy, and he had a lot of confidence going into the game. He got a partial sack, I guess I call it. But he missed the interception. He could end up with 2. But just played really fast back there. Even on that long run, it wasn't really his fault. It was a busted blitz by a linebacker, and he couldn't make him right. He was supposed to cover the tight end, so everybody thinks it was his fault, but it really wasn't. It was a structure of a blitz pattern that didn't get done. So he graded out eyes with.
All right, Coach, what was your reaction to that 71-yard run, knowing that it was a big play earlier, but then as the game went on, you didn't allow another touchdown for the latter part of it. So was there something that you said, like get over it, and then later on toward the end, boom?
Yeah, they didn't really earn it. We gave it to them because we didn't run a defense right. We were supposed to be blitzing off the edge of that tight end, and we didn't get it done. So we didn't have the edge to the defense. So the kids really wasn't that shook up because they felt like they didn't earn it. We gave it to them. So kind of settled them down at halftime. And at halftime, always coming out, our goal is to get a third quarter shutout. We feel like if we get a third quarter shutout, if we're out of the game, we can get back in. Or if we're ahead of the game, we feel like we'll increase the lead, and that's exactly what happened. So we came out of the locker room, had third quarter shutout, and kind of set the tone for the rest of the way.
Leaving the field, you yelled something about knowing how to slay a gator or something like that. Was that like a flashback?
That wasn't even me. That was an imposter.
Was that like a flashback to the childhood days in the swamps of
I never
Louisiana?
killed a gator in my life. I watch a lot of small people just like you.
On a more serious note, so Pro Football Focus, I don't know how much gospel you put in what they do in their grades or whatever, but they were pretty harsh on the DBs in their grading system and stuff. Did you see a lot of that, room for improvement in terms of coverage? And
They have no idea what we're doing on defense.
Right.
None. So what they say, they might have gave Jaden a minus on that long run, which it wasn't even. He was covering a guy man to man. We should have blitzed off the outside. So they don't know what the scheme is.
Right.
They're just trying to guess if they played it right.
So then I guess you were pretty happy with.
Oh, I thought we played exceptional. I mean, how many yards they had passing the football? 100 and what? Low hundreds. If you keep somebody at low hundreds, I mean, in the modern day football, they had 263 total offense and 70 something came off of one play. I think we played pretty good. If there's room for improvement, sure, we're gonna have to improve throughout the year, but I was really happy with the first game.
How much does the defense feed off when an offense, your own offense, is performing to that level?
Well, I think they don't panic because they know what our offense can do. They know who's behind that center. And it also takes a lot off of my plate. You know, sometimes when you play across from an offense that, you know, that is sputtering a little bit, you feel like you can't make a mistake on defense. We don't feel like that. Not to say that we don't want to be perfect, but we got a lot of faith in our offensive personnel and our play caller. You know, we got good backs, we got good offensive line, we got good wideouts, tight ends, quarterback's exceptional, and Coach Dawson's called a lot of football games, so we feel really good on defense that we have a good offense on the other side from us.
You guys have looked at a lot of film from about 100 practices probably so far this year, but how valuable is the film from week 1 to week 2 when it's the first time that you're going against somebody that doesn't know what you do? Like and you don't know really what they're doing either. I mean, how valuable is the film from the first game of any season?
You know, it's give and take because you really don't know what the other side's thinking. A lot of people try to copy what other people do. A lot of guys change up and they hold things back for certain offenses, certain defenses. So you really don't know from week to week. The worst thing you can do is have a lot of film on somebody and you practice on everything and you don't get good at anything. So last week, going against Florida, of course, we took like their 5 to top 7 plays that showed up in every game. A reverse, the crossing routes, a tailback screen, and just certain things. I'd be dang within the first 10 plays, probably 4 or 5 of them showed
I
up.
was just going to say, I think
So,
the first 4.
Yeah, they showed up. So that was good, but it's hard sometimes. You just gotta try to train you guys to play with clean eyes. And I thought we did probably the best defensively is we played situational football good. We were really good on third down, and when we got to certain areas of the field, we kind of sniffed out a lot of stuff that they were doing, a lot of trick stuff. So I thought that was good. I thought we played clean football.
Lance, you guys had only 5 missed tackles on Saturday against pretty talented, teams, good skill players. How have you seen the tackling improve on this team since you got here last year?
Well, each year's a new year. We got new guys trying to make tackles in space. I thought we played extremely hard. Even when somebody missed a guy, it seemed like there was 2, 3 more there. But I think it's the way you practice. I think it's how fast you go at practice and how quick you rep plays and get a lot in, because you cannot practice live tackling unless you live tackle. And we only tackled against our offense 2 scrimmages. The first one, we were god awful. The second one, we were okay. We tackled our best in the game the other day, and we hadn't tackled probably 2 weeks out. But our scout team gave us a really good look, and we just ran a bunch of plays as fast as we could, and our kids played with a lot of confidence, I thought. I didn't make a lot of calls on defense, so it wasn't like an extreme big game plan, so that they could just play fast and free. And we just kind of tried to recognize plays that they were running that we'd seen before.
And then since, like you said, you only get to practice it a couple times, and the first time it wasn't great, like, as a DC, you're just like, okay, like, we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we got a chance to get better, It wasn't perfect by any means, but game 2, you just want to get better than you were before. The opponent doesn't matter. I'm an FCS guy, and I've been on the other side of the coin to where I've gone into venues that were a lot bigger, and our kids played their butts off, and we've beaten some big teams before when I was at FCS. So being at a Power 5 school now, it's to me, it's just all the same. Everybody, you got 11 players on the field. They got 11 players, and you're gonna need to go out and try and play the best that you can, and just get better every week.
Hey, Coach, are you surprised that the Gators and Canes have only played 4 times in the last 20 years? And can you imagine whether Florida will want to play Miami anytime soon after what took place on Saturday?
I'm sure they'd want to play us next year. Everybody wants to play somebody that's beat them. So you want revenge. But I really didn't know how many times they had played. I thought they'd played a lot more times than that. And but I'll take this one, and we'll just wait till the next one.
With Fairview coming in this weekend, what are your thoughts on that offense, dynamic quarterback, and how was the communication systems? I know that was kind of a big topic with you and the linebackers.
It kind of went out a little bit at times. D-Nick couldn't talk to linebackers, and we had to signal it in. So I call it through the headset, and a lot of times Coach Nickerson, he's the one talking to the linebackers, giving them a call, just some reminders. But there was times in the game probably about 15 to 20% of the time they couldn't hear for whatever reason, so we had to signal it in. But for the most part, it's a lot better than signaling the whole thing. But I thought it was pretty clean on our end. It's a lot worse at practice. It's a lot louder at practice. What we did at in the indoor facility. So for the most part, I thought it was good.
And then thoughts on FAMU Richardson coming in, dynamic quarterback, that offense you're going up against?
It's a lot of the plays they run this week are like the ones last week. Just looking at him, he's a competitive son of a gun. He makes their offense go. They got good tight ends, and they got a couple wide receivers that they're going to cause a little bit of problems. So we're going to have to do what we did last week and try to beat them at the line of scrimmage, and then just play with great eyes, because I'm sure they'll have a lot of different things, different tricks they'll try to do on us.
You lost Bain and DeMar early in that game. What did you learn about your depth and your defense after that?
It's always been a mentality everywhere I've kind of been. It's just, the 11 guys out there playing as one. So try to mix as many people up at practice as you can, playing with each other. So, as a coach, you hate to lose your good ones like that in a game, but the next guy got up there and played, and you just kind of get over it. It's kind of like being a high school football coach and all those seniors walk out the door and you're left with the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. They got to step up, and you don't know how you're going to do it, but somehow, some way, somebody steps up. That's how it kind of happened the other day. We know we had a lot of depth at defensive line, but the secondary was kind of scary when Brown went down, because then you say, okay, well, what if Porter goes down? Who's going to play nickel? He's running out of corners, so it's just that whole deal. But I thought they was up for the challenge, and I was proud of them.
It was
We'll do a
Mendenhall's
couple more
first game
for
back since he got hurt last year. How do you feel like he performed?
He played hard. He played good. He I'm sure he thinks he could play better, but it's been a long time since he played football. He played some inside, played some outside. But I think you'll see him get better through the next probably 2-3 games to where he'll be back in stride. He looked a little tired at there at times, but he's been limited at practice. He hasn't practiced whole practices, so he's really not in total game shape yet.
What were your thoughts on Tyler Barron, his first game in your defense, and first game with UM?
He made a bunch of good plays. Made a good play on the quarterback. Of course, when he tried to pull it, he hit the quarterback like 3 times. Had a big hit on the interception that Mish got. So, real instinctive player, but probably the most impressive play was him trying to run down the running back. He was chasing, he couldn't catch him, but he made a swipe at him, and that's what winning football is about. Because if he makes that stop right there, we hoping a field goal. You never know how that goes. So I was really proud of how hard he played, and he's gonna have a good year.
Talk to us about Chase.
Chase is getting a lot better, man. Chase has played some good, meaningful snaps. He's gonna get better through the course of the year. It seems like he's getting further and further away from that knee injury. It looks like, so playing with a lot of confidence. Happy for him. He's had a long road, and it's time for that pays off.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.